Hey, what's up, DIYers? Mike Borders with the Mike Borders channel. Thank you for watching. We're talking drip line or irrigation systems, and in the event that your backflow preventer is leaking, we're going to show you some common causes that lead to that, and hopefully some troubleshooting steps that can get your backflow preventer to seal so you don't have to replace any internal parts. But if you do, we've got you covered, and we'll talk about that in this video. Let's take a look. DIYers, here we are outside, and coming to the left upstream there is the exit point of the plumbing of our irrigation or drip line system that comes out of the house, and let's head up there. And unfortunately, our backflow prevention valve and diaphragm up top is leaking. DIYers, it is not supposed to leak, and I've got both ports at the 12 and 6. Those are closed, not leaking. Coming down here, that has been Teflon taped and plugged. That is not leaking. It looks like it is, but the water's flowing down from the diaphragm and backflow prevention. DIYers, that is not normal. I've got this valve fully open and in line with the plumbing, as well as this valve and this valve closed. And it feeds downstream into the ground, where it then feeds out to our control box, and zone 1 heads upstream and zone 2 goes downstream. And again, that is not supposed to be leaking, as you see right there. And the system is currently running, and zone 2 is in operation at the moment out back. And again, DIYers, this is not normal. If this is happening, what I recommend doing is just patiently waiting until the zone is complete and see if the leak stops. And it's possible that the internal diaphragm is just not properly lubricated and set with water. And if this is the very first time you have activated or de-winterized your system, it just might take a second or two, or in our case, a zone cycle or two to be completed, to again allow that internal diaphragm to fully lubricate and wetten up and properly seat. Coming inside, and we've got a lot of projects going here, DIYers. We are just shy of re-bunking our jet ski trailer and the workstation. We've got a 95 XP. A lot of upcoming DIY repair videos on that. However, let's head to the utility room. Coming inside the utility room, and what I'm going to do first is show you the system we have. We have a Hunter brand, and down below in the comments and description will be links on not only how to winterize your system, but de-winterize your system as well. And we are going to come to this valve right here and verify it is in the fully open and in line with the plumbing position. And coming up, the larger white pipe is the plumbing that feeds water out to our irrigation or drip line system. And no leaks, all looks good. And verify that the valve itself is in the fully open and in line with the plumbing position. DIYers, in the event that it is half closed, and as shown there, you're not allowing the proper water flow and pressure through the plumbing and out to the backflow preventer, and it's not going to seal properly. So again, fully open as shown there. Coming back out to the system, and still making some noise. And if I scroll in here, you can see some water flowing out still, and it's still leaking even though it's not making an aggressive sound. So here's what we are going to do next. That valve, open, in line, keep it as is. This one, go ahead and close it fully. And that is basically going to, again, stop any water from going past this valve and out through the system. And as you just heard, that basically sealed. And no water should come out because, again, at this point, we have completely shut off the water flow. That is going to stay open at the time being. And again, you've got 2 petcock valves here, and 12 and 6, and the caps are on, and those are not leaking. In the event that those little screws are turned in a different direction, maybe the 9 and 3, and leaking water, you will want to close those. Again, 12 and 6. And this little water right here is just because of the rundown here. And all looks good there. Here's what we are going to do next. We've completely shut off the water. We are going to close this valve completely, all the way, as shown there. That is now completely closed. We are going to open this valve slowly, and water will come out, as shown there. And we are going to wait a few seconds. And again, water is now going through this valve and up to the preventer and stopping right here. No water can get past that valve because it's closed. No water can go downstream and out to our system. Next, again, we've got the leak. This is open. Both of those ports or valves are closed, 12 and 6. And this is closed, no water coming out. Ever so carefully and gently and slowly open this valve. And as you do that, it's very possible and likely your diaphragm will seal. Again, go slow. And you heard some unique, unfriendly sounds coming from that preventer and diaphragm underneath the top part. And we are going to wait a minute or two, verify no leaks from here, which it's not, it's just a rundown. No leaks from here, it's just the rundown there. And no leaks from that exit point or valve there. And if that does not do the trick, DLRs, unfortunately in our case, it is not. That will need to be replaced. However, hopefully that helps you. And what I might do is perform this procedure 2 to 3 more times, and hopefully it will seal. But if it doesn't, again, it needs to be replaced. I'll keep you posted. DLRs, in the meantime, hey, if you have a brick home and you have ever wondered what the little slits or slots in the brick are, they're all over. Definitely check out the link scrolling above. We'll also put it down below in the comments and description. We will also have a video on how to install screens to keep critters out, snakes or any other little creatures that can crawl inside the slots and make their way inside your home or frame of your house. Not good. To an update, DIYers, I performed that procedure 3 additional times with no luck. As you can see right there, it is leaking. Not a lot, but it is leaking, and that is not okay. And what we'll do next is come up top. We've got an 11mm nut. We are going to remove that from the threaded stud and remove this top cap and see what's inside. And it's possible that a critter got in there and created a nest. Could be a spider web, could be a debris. And we have wood chips, so it's possible that a critter grabbed some wood chips, came up and inserted them inside there. So let's go ahead and remove that. However, taking a step back, first, DIYers, very important for safety purposes, we need to close these valves all the way, both. And we need to go inside and shut off the plumbing as well. In addition, close this. And you heard the clicking, and it is closed. Back inside the utility room in DIYers, I am going to close this valve. And that is 100% closed and will no longer allow any water to flow out to the system. Back outside to the system, and again, verifying all valves are closed. It is now time to come up top, and again, 11mm nut. We are going to remove that and pull the belt cap off the system. Do your absolute best not to lose that nut. That would not be good. Followed by carefully pulling up the belt cap. And on the top side is all the replacement info in the event that you need to get in here and replace your entire spring and bonnet. And set that aside. And coming inside here, let's take a look. There is a lot of debris in there. And again, the leak is coming from over here. going to carefully grab some of this and pull it all out. And look at that. And that can definitely cause issues. And there is a lot of debris in there. As you see, I'm going to continue cleaning that out. Do your absolute best to refrain from sticking screwdrivers or tools in there. You could damage it even further. Not good. And making progress. And we pulled out a good chunk of debris and some ladybugs as well. And there's the inner side of the bell cap. Let's go back up top to the bonnet. Now, DIYers, it is much cleaner, as you see inside there. And if this does not do the trick, DIYers, we will have to replace our entire bonnet, which is this top cap that goes in, and inside here is an O-ring as well as additional parts. And before we wrap this video up, we will show you a picture. And down below in the comments and description, as well as scrolling above right now, is a link on the step-by-step process on how to properly and carefully replace this internal bonnet without harming your system as you do it. However, we've cleaned it out. Time to reinstall the bell cap. Again, time to install the bell cap, and on the portion here is your replacement info, as well as right here. And we are going to, again, re-secure the bell cap. Do not over tighten it. From here, leave the valves as is, roll back inside and turn the water back on. Back inside to the utility room, coming to the water shutoff valve, and we are going to open it up or turn it on, and it is fully open, again in line with the plumbing. Coming down below, again, there's our control box, and we have plugged it back in to restore electrical power to the system. Back outside to the system, and we are going to start over here, and again, fully closed. And we are going to keep this closed and come in here and open it up. And that is normal. And from here, just wait maybe 5 to 10 seconds and come back over here and slowly open it up. And we will see if that stopped the leak. And again, there were some ladybugs in there. Let's come over here. Still see a leak over in that section. And unfortunately, DIYers, that did not solve or seal the preventer valve. Taking a step back, what I did next was verified all valves are closed. And again, closed, closed, and closed. I will leave the plug in. And again, since we're leaking, we're shutting the system down, and we are going to replace that internal bonnet. Back inside the utility room, and we are going to close our water shutoff valve. And that is fully closed. In addition, we unplugged our system. All right, DIYers, we are on the computer now, and we are looking at basically a diagram of what you just looked at with our setup. And we'll start at the very top left. You've got the top nut, you've got the canopy, and you've got the entire bonnet and poppet part that feeds down and into and is inside the entire backflow preventer housing. And if we continue straight down, you see the shutoff valve that we have that is closest to the actual plumbing pipe that comes out of our house and through the brick and feeds the water upstream. And to the left of that, you see that blue arrow with the word close. If we continue back up to the backflow preventer housing and then veer right or turn right, you see an additional valve, and we have that exact same valve. However, the only difference with this diagram compared to ours is ours actually continues outward, where you have more of a circular or sprocket style handle, and then directly below it we have that threaded connection point where we can feed a hose into, whether it's a garden hose or what we use at the end of the season when performing the winterization process on the system. An air hose is hooked up to that. However, feeding back to that top valve there, as you just saw with our setup, in between that valve and that circular or sprocket style valve is that plumbing that feeds down and into the ground and out to our control box and split off into zone 1 and zone 2. So again, I wanted to show you this photo because this is the closest setup for ours. However, you might have a setup differently, or in other words, completely swapped 180 degrees. So with that said, let's take a look at an additional photo. And in that next photo, you will see a much more detailed layout of the parts. And here it is, the next photo. And again, as you can see, if we start at the top, we've got the nut, we got the bell cap, we got the bonnet, we've got the poppet, and then we have the entire backflow preventer housing and plumbing. And if we go all the way down, we've got that same valve, but if we come back up and turn right, we've got the petcock valves. However, again, ours is on the left-hand side, but in this photo, if we go to the left, you've got that additional valve that we have on our right side of our housing. So again, I wanted to show you that. And let's go back up again, all the way to the top. You've got your nut, you've got your bell cap, and then you've got your bonnet. And take a look at that bonnet part. Directly below the upper spring-loaded housing or cap and feeding into the lower plastic threaded portion of the bonnet, you have a black rubber O-ring. And it is very likely that that is our part that has failed. And if it's not the part that has failed, we will go down to the poppet. And looking at the poppet part, focus in on that black ring. That is a flat rubber washer style gasket or seal. And DIYers, unfortunately, over time, those can split, crack, dry rot, warp, or get pinched, ultimately creating a leak. So again, we just wanted to show you these two photos before wrapping the video up because again, ours is leaking. We have performed all of the troubleshooting steps and nothing's working. So we need to order and wait for the new part to get here. And once it gets here, we are going to replace the entire bonnet and poppet kit or part. And that video link will also be down below in the comments and description. Definitely check that out. And again, that's it. We hope this helps. Hey, do us a favor. Below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. And again, we hope to see you at the next video in the event that you cannot get your backflow preventer to seal, or in other words, stop leaking. Thanks again.